Every year, machines become more innovative, but artificial intelligence has failed to live up to the expectations raised by some of the world's top technological corporations. AI excels at restricted activities such as chess, but it fails to effectively do more than one thing. Welcome back to Robot Future. Today we'll be speaking about Insane, China, the biggest AI humanoid robot brain in the world. We make videos about robots, artificial intelligence, and the future, so make sure to like, subscribe, and stick around in this video. Alright then, let's get started. According to Chinese researchers, they've created an industrial robot that can read the mind of a human counterpart with 96% accuracy. As per its inventors, at China 3 Gorges University's Intelligent Manufacturing Innovation Technology Center, the robot observed the workers' brain waves and recorded electric muscle impulses as it worked smoothly together to create a problematic product. According to the developers, the co-worker did not need to say or do anything when they wanted a tool or a component. The robot recognized the intention almost quickly, picking up the object and placing it on the workstation. In the latest industrial manufacturing, assembling work accounted for 45% of overall workload and 20 to 30% of total production cost. Project lead scientist Dong Yuanfa and his co-researchers said in an article published in China Manufacturing Engineering. Collaborative robots, or cobots, may speed up a manufacturing line. Still, their use was limited since their capacity to recognize human intention is typically imprecise and unreliable, according to the report. For decades, humans and robots, or autonomous machines, have coexisted in factories, but have received various fences to minimize mishaps. Some innovative manufacturing operations, such as automotive factories in Germany, have implemented a fence-free work environment in recent years, with robots that swing into action only when a button is tapped. These machines are outfitted with safety sensors that will promptly halt them if they directly contact humans. Some research teams have attempted to create a new generation of cobots capable of predicting human intent by observing eye or body motions. However, these passive techniques have delayed response and poor precision. To solve this, Dong's team's robot was subjected to hundreds of hours of training by 8 volunteers. The subjects were initially requested to wear a non-invasive brainwave monitor, and the team discovered that the robot could assess their purpose with roughly 70% accuracy. The brain signal, on the other hand, was relatively feeble. The volunteers would need to focus intensely on the task at hand for the robot to receive a clear message. According to the study, most of them were distracted by other ideas after working on the repetitious assembly line for a while. Muscle signals recorded by a few sensors attached to an arm, on the other hand, were more stable. Although these too diminished as the volunteer grew weary. The researchers believe that a combination of brain and muscle signals could let the robot estimate the worker's next move in a second with exceptional accuracy. However, it was questionable if these laboratory results could be repeated in a real-world production scenario. According to the report, specific difficulties would be using the new technology in a genuine production setting. However, the brain and muscle detectors might be hidden inside a worker's cap, and in uniform, the quality of data could be harmed by sweat or unpredictable motions. These issues, however, could be accomplished by providing the robot with motion and visual data, according to the researchers. It comes days after China revealed an elaborate project to become a worldwide robotics innovation hub by 2025 as part of the smart manufacturing goals mentioned above. Since 2016, the number of industrial robots in China has increased by 15% each year, according to Wang Weiming, head of industrial equipment at the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology in Beijing on Tuesday. According to Wang, there were 246 robots every 10,000 workers in China, or twice the global average. Still, the overwhelming was constructed using technology developed in the West that could not always cope with the rugged settings in China. As a result, China needs more powerful robotic technology to address the dwindling labor force, falling birth rates, and growing labor expenses. By 2025, robots will be used in more than 70% of China's large-scale companies. According to Song Xiao Gang, the China Robot Industry Alliance, the development of cobots would be a precedent. There would abound from fence operation to human-robot collaboration, he said at the same press conference. Employees in some Chinese factories have been required to wear brain-reading helmets or have their facial expressions monitored by AI-controlled cameras. though the goal was to detect exhaustion, depression, or other mental indications that could impair work efficiency or safety. Critics raised privacy issues. Chinese academics have discovered a similar occurrence in critical economic zones like the Pearl River Delta. Furthermore, a study published last month by Peking University researchers found that the widespread use of robots in roughly 300 cities from 2006 to 2016 helped Chinese industries produce more premium products of more outstanding quality, increasing the country's overall worldwide competitiveness. In March 2016, China experienced its Sputnik moment. Alphago, an artificial intelligence software, defeated a South Korean grandmaster in Go, an exceedingly complex and demanding Chinese board game, that month. More than 280 million people in China tuned in to witness the 5-game series. In May 2017, Alphago upset China's 19-year-old prodigy, KG. 6 weeks later, the Chinese government released an AI strategy that predicted the country would become the worldwide center of AI innovation by 2030. China accounted for over half of all AI venture capital funding worldwide at the end of the year. That's how China became an AI powerhouse, according to Kai-Fu Lee, a recognized expert in the subject, in his book AI Superpowers. Lee, a 60-year-old former Google China president who observed the country's tech explosion firsthand. The book was published 3 years ago, and it projected that China would defeat the United States in the AI competition. He was diplomatic, saying that both countries are equally strong. Still, they are rising with strengths in distinct areas: the United States in enterprise software, what businesses use, and China in manufacturing and image recognition. He characterizes both countries as equally powerful in aggregate, but powerful distinctly in specific categories. As Lee demonstrates in his book, the neural network form of AI duplicates the brain's bare architecture in computer form. It entails building layers of artificial neurons that receive and send data in a manner comparable to our biological neuron networks. Deep learning is now referred to as juiced-up neural networks. He says that AI algorithms, a set of instructions that a computer program follows to accomplish a task or create a separate output, will impact white-collar occupations due to their ability to process data and make judgments based on it much more efficiently. Lee's book is a phenomenon to start if you want to learn how China became a digital giant in such a short period. This year, he published an alternative book on AI, co-written with notional fiction author Chen Xiufan, called AI 2041. It illustrates how the Chinese tech sector initially copied US platforms, Twitter, Facebook, eBay, before generating dominant domestic services like WeChat, the app that does everything, and a global sensation like TikTok. These variables account for a large portion of Lee's optimism about China's portion in the global AI race. According to Lee, coronavirus has pushed AI adoption in the United States and China. He claims that the US lockdown has increased the use of AI in the workplace, highlighting the success of Romania-founded but New York-based UiPath, which offers AI-based software that automates workday chores for organizations like reading papers and filling out forms. Companies have all this data that turns into a treasure trove of knowledge on which they can help the organization more efficient, says Lee, who sees data as a critical aspect in developing AI programs, and China produces a lot of data. He claims that the pandemic has increased the usage of robotics in companies, as well as autonomous trucks for carrying goods in China. Lee regards language processing and comprehension as a significant advancement for AI. The ability to answer questions, understand text and language, and provide significant responses to inquiries, he says, describing how search engines would be transformed. He says that AI will enable the development of personalized movies to keep you entertained or educated. The metaverse is the digital realm where we may virtually live our social and professional existence. It would be populated by avatars of our authentic selves by AI avatars. A major aspect of the metaverse is that it will be populated not only by people, but also by digital humans. He says that discovering new pharmaceuticals would be modified as well. We should also focus on the drawbacks. Lee believes autonomous weaponry, such as drones, are a very major worry, but declines to comment on worries about the use of facial recognition in China, where there has been pushback. How to govern that is a challenge that we all face, he continues. We hope governments will begin to listen to AI experts just as chemists spoke out against chemical weapons and biologists spoke out against biological weapons. It's unlikely that it can be stopped entirely. However, there should be some means of reducing or minimizing the most heinous usage. Well, that's all we have for today. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and let us know what you think about the biggest AI humanoid robot brain in the world. Until we see you next time, ciao.